Welcome back to Mountain Connections. Up first on this Community Monday, we are going to focus on First Responders Day. What can you do to make sure all the first responders here in our community know that they are appreciated and more? Well, I had a great conversation about this recently. Let's take a look.
This year, National First Responders Day falls on Friday, October 28th, but just 24 hours of recognition doesn't seem like enough for our neighborhood heroes, serving their communities all year long. First responders deserve our gratitude for more than one day a year. Jason Patton is one of those community servants, a career firefighter and paramedic in Riviera Beach, Florida. He's also dedicated to mental health. He's an advocate and a social media personality. Joining us live from Jupiter, Florida, to talk about the challenges today's first responders are facing and how one retailer is stepping up to support them. Jason, thanks for being here today. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me on. I do appreciate it. I almost needed my own services in Park City when I was learning to ski about 6 months ago. So happy to talk to you.
Yeah, it's a very relatable situation for many of us. So
I'm sure.
tell us, yeah, absolutely. How are first responders being celebrated and honored this month?
So Lowe's, they're incredible. And they're actually, I've shopped there since I was a small kid, but they are offering $10 for any purchases over $75 for first responders when it's redeemed between October 21st and October 28th. But the biggest thing that they're doing, which I think is absolutely amazing for a company like this, they're giving back $100 million over the next 5 years to help restore and revitalize local communities through their program, which I think is absolutely incredible. Anyone that's dedicating that kind of money, it really shows that they are there to help support local communities.
Can you talk about the different fire safety programs and how those support first responders?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the biggest thing that we're always trying to do is educate people as much as possible, especially as first responders, because we know that the more educated people are, the faster emergencies can be rectified, which is always good for everybody. But Lowe's is partnering with their partner, First Alert, and they are partnering with local fire departments, and they're helping educate customers along with their families on how to be as safe as possible during all emergencies, whether it's fire or EMS, being able to help people out, and they're doing that, which is absolutely incredible.
And first responders are essential workers who save lives every single day. What are some of the challenges first responders are facing?
So, I mean, obviously, mental health in general is something that we're always trying to focus on and improve, especially through, COVID and everything. But, we're seeing a staffing shortage because of that as well, and fire EMS, but especially in nursing as well. So we're trying to combat that at the time. But what's great, and we always say, is no matter what, there's always someone that wants to step up to the line to help their fellow brother or sister out there. So we want you to know, if you're calling 911, that we're showing up with a smile on our face, because that's what we want to do.
October is Fire Prevention Month. What advice would you give people at home to make sure they are fire safe?
So, biggest thing is making sure to prepare as best as possible. You'd be amazed by how quickly the things that you think you've learned go right out your head when there's an emergency and your heart rate jacks up really high. So practice a fire safe plan or a fire safety plan, especially with small children. Make it fun. I have a 6-year-old daughter. Everything's got to be entertaining. So try to practice that as much as possible. But make sure you have smoke detectors on every floor, if not outside of every single bedroom. Change the batteries every 6 months. Carbon monoxide detectors, huge. Got to have those. Can't smell carbon monoxide, so you wouldn't even know what was going on until it was too late. And then fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers are huge. Have them everywhere. They got the 2 sizes here, which I absolutely love. You can put them under every counter in your house, but have those just in case there is an emergency. But if you don't know what to do, call 911, get outside. We'll take care of the rest of it for you.
And we have to ask you about your social media videos. You have 400,000 followers on Instagram. What made you decide to start giving this sketch comedy style look behind the scenes?
We're on shift for 24 hours as first responders. So, if we're not running calls or doing training, then we have a little bit of downtime to mess with each other. And as brothers and sisters, that's essentially what we like to do. So we were able to kind of show a behind the scenes fun look at what it's like to be a firefighter and a paramedic, and the things that we deal with on a daily basis. But the biggest thing is what's been cool is I get opportunities like this. So I get to educate my fellow man and woman across the world about, hopefully helping themselves in an emergency, all through humor, because I think if you're laughing and learning at the same time, that's the best way to learn.
And of course, we're all thinking about all the destruction with the recent hurricane. And, unfortunately, the seems are getting more common, especially this time of year. So how can people best prepare for a potential natural disaster or severe weather in general?
Absolutely. You know, any situation like this, hurricanes or whatever it is, if you even, if you have a warning, which is great, but I believe at the beginning of a hurricane season, stock up on batteries, stock up on smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, water, canned food, whatever you need to do, but stock up on that just in case it does get bad. Because we all know once it's coming, then everyone's losing their minds trying to get all the supplies. So if you stock up early, that's great. And then obviously listen to your local news channels. So they're the best source of information on what's happening, when it's coming, best ways to prepare. And if you're told to evacuate, just get out of there. It's not worth staying around.
And where can we find more information?
So more information on all this, especially to register for the discounts and find out which one of your Lowe's stores are partnering with their fire departments to help educate the communities. You can go to lowes.com/first responders with an S on the end.
Well, thank you so much, Jason Patton. Really appreciate your time with us today, and
Thank you.
remember to honor first responders. So appreciate it.
Thank you.